National security analyst, former U.S. Secret Service emergency response team member, and president of Public Security LLC, Barry Donadio. He is joined by retired supervisory special agent for the FBI and town hall columnist, that is, John Nance. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. Good to be with you this morning. This heinous attack on the LDS Church in Michigan comes a month after the mass shooting at the Annunciation Catholic Church and School in Minneapolis. President Trump took to Truth Social. He posted this. He says, "This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. Pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately." Barry, this is heartbreaking, these acts of evil that are taking place in houses of God, where we should feel safe and at peace. But that's exactly what we're facing right now. What do you think needs to be done to better protect our places of worship?
Thanks for having me on your show. My condolences to everybody affected by this. We're at a day and age now, just like airports. You have to have the armed security or police at every single church, every single school. There's just going to be repeat offenders of this same very thing. Copycats are out there waiting for their opportunity. That is the only thing that I can really come up with that can even bring this to even nearer to an end. Obviously, we talk about motive. There's a lot of hatred going on here. This is an attack on God himself, his followers, and I speculate what else it could be to motivate a U.S. Marine to attack a church other than maybe total psychosis.
Yeah, it really is just mind-blowing and such a tragedy. The Sunday after the shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church, I was actually at my parish at Mass in Northern Virginia, and I noticed there was an older gentleman, and he was carrying. And John, I wonder if this is where we're going. Do we have to protect ourselves and bring our own firearms into places of worship just so that we feel safe?
Well, I think that's been the case for a while now. I go to church armed. I know many people that I attend church with that are armed. Our church has a security team. I think that any place of worship needs to have a good hard look at what their policies are. And I think it's a very good idea to have qualified individuals, church members potentially, to carry. And there are a large number, tens of thousands of retired state, federal, and local law enforcement that could be brought in to help secure these places of worship. So I think that perhaps the Trump administration could help facilitate some of this, but this is where we are today. Obviously, people of faith are being targeted and are under attack. So people need to take common sense measures to defend themselves.
Yeah, and Barry, I want to ask you about that. I mean, what should people do? Do we need to have a plan in place? I mean, not everybody owns a gun.
Right, but every church should formulate their own security and safety team. There's plenty of parishioners at every single church that want to be a part of the solution. I recommend that every church stop right now what they're doing and don't take the consideration that it can't happen here. It can happen anywhere. If it could happen in Michigan, it can happen at your church, your synagogue, your mosque, wherever you go and worship. Very important, because this is not only an attack against Christianity, this is just downright evil. So evil comes in many forms, and it's going to attack any opportunity it can where there's good people.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I want to talk about the investigation now. We know the shooter was, we mentioned we don't know exactly the motive. We don't know that yet. But John, based on what we know, is there other pieces of the puzzle that we can put together to determine this motive, and how quickly could we find that out?
Well, I think the FBI and certainly local law enforcement will be scouring this individual's social media. They'll be interviewing people who know him, people who knew him. That's usually a big part of the solution to these types of puzzles, is simply getting out and meeting the individuals who knew this shooter. They can best, they usually can best bring to light the motivations that are involved. And Kash Patel has been very forward-leaning in providing transparency to the American people. So I'm sure as soon as the FBI is able to develop some sort of a motive or a theory of motive, that will be shared. That'll be shared publicly. So if I could, law enforcement took only 30 seconds to arrive, and I think that really highlights the point that you are your best defense. So even though law enforcement was there very swiftly, really the best kind of defense is to be prepared yourself and to have security there on site.
Yeah, John, that's a good point. The response was so incredibly quick, probably saved a lot of more lives. John, Barry, great to be with you, gentlemen, this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.